Final Fantasy X.
Perfect transition.
That's as good of a segue as we can possibly get.
I'm that kind of host.
Yeah.
Just like, just gonna leave you under that bus and just like back over you, put it back in drive, and we'll just, okay, we've arrived at Final Fantasy.
Next topic.
Sorry. I like Final Fantasy X. Yeah, this was, this was the big, RPG for the PS2, and it was, we had never seen an RPG do this, the sort of scale of storytelling and
it's like
characters.
half movie.
Yeah, it's insane.
The voice acting, right?
Yeah.
You almost didn't believe, like, man, everybody's talking. Oh man, are they going to talk the entire game?
Is that Tiger Man going to talk?
That felt incredible.
Yeah.
That and GTA are really two sides of the PS2 coin that year. Like that, whatever type of gamer you were, that was really like, man, I guess I got to get this platform. Like,
yeah, and a lot of people.
Did I say GTA 5 again?
I think you said GTA 3.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're just broken. Yeah, a lot of people look back on that. It's sort of that, along with 7, were these like sort of gateways into RPGs for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Of a certain age, if you were you bought into Final Fantasy X because it was gorgeous and because of the storytelling, and then you were like, oh, this is turn-based battles. Like, this is how this works.
Well, it was a big shift for Final Fantasy II. Like, obviously with Final Fantasy XI, that went online.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy X was coming off of the big world map and more exploratory open world elements of the earlier Final Fantasies, and it became a lot more linear, which we then saw with 12,
Lightning
but then
returns.
very much 13.
Yeah.
And I think it was a big change to not really have a world map for people. For me, I mean, I love
it was a
those
bummer.
elements. Yeah.
But obviously the game's, it's still beloved. We just got the Final Fantasy X HD on PS4 and on Vita recently, so these are games that people are, revisiting. And then it was the first game with a sequel.
I was just gonna say, isn't it the only one of the Final Fantasies?
Well, the first Final Fantasy game with a sequel. That's a weird.
Yeah.
It was the first video game to ever have a sequel.
10 to
4 got a sequel, but that might have actually come after 10.
I think so. I think after that they started going back and revisiting.
Yeah.
7.
Whether it was the very first or not, that was still a fairly new thing for Final Fantasy. To give a chance to. They invest, and I think that's a side effect of those games becoming so expensive. And they invent these entire worlds and characters and voice actors and all the rest of it. And let's continue letting people invest in that world rather than doing it all over again for the next named Final Fantasy.
Especially since the next one was not another,
Sure.
And I know we're supposed to be positive, but Blitzball can go to hell. Like, I love that game.
If that game came out now, like, we would totally have a Blitzball mobile game, right? Like, they would have spun off Blitzball in every way that they possibly could.
I hate Blitzball.
I made my friends beat that first Blitzball game because you could, you weren't supposed to, but you could beat that first Blitzball game, and I let my friend borrow my.
The game just gets confused. Like, what's happening?
I was like, I'm a completionist, so I need to have this beaten, but I can't do it myself. I don't have those skills, so you do this for me.
You can't blitz.
Thanks, Nick Pasquino.
Thanks, Nick. Shout out to Nick Pasquino.
Shout out.
You got to crowbar that in there.
Yeah.
Do what you can.